You heard the lady, my friends. You are listening to KSKQ 89.5 FM, Ashland, Oregon, and 94.1 FM, Medford, Oregon. Thanks for being here for the Eartheart radio show.
Blessings and welcome to Eartheart Radio, finally beginning to awaken from the illusion of separateness and broadcasting live from the KSKQ studios in beautiful Ashland, Oregon. Here's your host, Derek Moody.
It's an awesome day in Southern Oregon, I can tell you that, man. I was excited to just look out the window this morning and just look at the mountains. That little joy alone is such a big joy in my life. It's like I looked at cornfields for a decade, or well, I guess several decades, and then all of a sudden, boom! Almost 10 years ago, I landed here in this beautiful paradise, just about 15 or 20 miles right now from the Northern California border. Right here in Southern Oregon. Happy to be here. And if you're tuned in anywhere in the world, we are now a international community. Yeah, because we're going to laugh at the same jokes today, listen to the same awesome music, and we're going to hear words of wisdom from the same folks today. So thank you all for being here. We're going to hear some music, positive news. We will speak about the goddess Durga from India, but today my main guest is a friend of mine and a gentleman that's very respected in the Rogue Valley of Southern Oregon. He's a musician, a writer, a really good dude that's gone through a lot of transformation in the last decade since I've met him, as we all have, I guess, I hope. But we're going to speak about his transformation and his new album, and on the line with me right now from lovely Southern Oregon is the one and only Frankie Hernandez. Hey, brother.
Hey, how you doing?
Better now that you're here, bro.
Oh, kind.
Are you, you're not in, I think you're in Medford, correct?
I'm actually in Grants Pass. I play a show here at the Apra City Vineyards at 3.
Oh, so you got a gig today.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. And we'll get right to it, Frankie. I was looking online, and I originally thought your new album was called Shouting in the Wilderness, but I think it's called That Guy at My Church.
Well, it is called Shouting in the Wilderness, and I do have a new project called That Guy at My Church.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a Christian band, gospel, contemporary Christian, whatever you want to call it. It's a faith-based act.
Yeah.
And it's just like the tallest man on earth, or Portugal the Man, or Fight for Fighting. It's just I'm a singer-songwriter. I just started this project so that I could do something specifically faith-based without, making everybody that's already a Frankie Hernandez fan come and feel like they're obligated to believe the same thing, which they're not.
Have you noticed, as a musician, Frankie, this is a personal question based upon someone that's a lot like you, but in a different realm of music, of course. But have you noticed that when you went from Frankie Hernandez, guy that plays out in bars and writes these great catchy songs and sing-alongs, to a guy that got into more of a, like you said, a spiritual kind of path, did you notice a change in, like, maybe certain people stopped listening, or maybe certain new ones started listening versus the old?
I found that the people who are already pretty deeply Christian, I found my relationship with them is very enhanced.
Yeah.
But as far as people that have been Frankie Hernandez band fans so far, I haven't gotten any kickback. It's I've always played positive, upbeat music, based on solid morality. Like, I don't sing about drugs.
Yeah.
I've always, I'm a commercial songwriter, so I write to be able to play to families. That, and that's the way we do it here in Southern Oregon. Is the festivals, the concerts, and the park. Like, we like to party with our kids. So, I've always kept that in mind, that I could be playing to grandma and to the littles.
Yep, well, that's beautiful. It's very healthy, and I was just wondering about that because being a rock and roll guy and going from rock and roll or hard rock specifically to spiritual was really a really wide, eye-opening experience for me. But I guess you have a good point. You've been more of a kind of a positive musical guy in the first place, so I think the change wasn't so drastic as far as you getting really on the path of devotion compared to a little devotion, you know?
Yeah.
But that's cool. I really respect you, man. And can you tell us more about the new album, Shouting in the Wilderness? What's the deal? How many songs? When's it coming out? On all that good stuff.
Sure. Thanks for asking. So the project is called That Guy at My Church, and there's going to be 8 songs. And the first single, which is called As Bad as It Gets, it's not one of the ones I sent you. I'm going to make everybody wait for it. It's going to be... The full album is going to be released on May the 28th, and currently, actually starting last week, I started the Kickstarter, the campaign fund for it. So anybody that is familiar with Kickstarter, it's a way that artists and inventors, anybody starting up a new business can raise money, to finish a project that they're working on, and this one is mine. So you can look me up. A Kickstarter, Frankie Hernandez. It'll immediately pull up to Shouting in the Wilderness. It's called a Party Worship EP.
Yeah, I did see that Kickstarter. I was going to bring something up, so thank you for bringing that up for the folks that might not know. Yeah, Frankie Hernandez Kickstarter campaign is happening, so that's a worthy cause. And are you doing, because of the COVID thing, have you gotten to get out much? I know you're doing a gig today, but have you been out much lately?
I'm starting to come out a bit more. It's hard to get the band out because a lot of people have capacity issues, and they can't afford to pay 4 guys.
Yeah.
And honestly, in the best of times, we're really not getting paid what we're worth anyway.
Yeah, musicians never get a raise. Everyone else does, but not us.
but a lot of us are. Well, I mean, we're out here, doing a labor of love anyway.
Yeah.
And I found that right now that that's even more the case because I know I'm running a business, and I'm honestly not a very good businessman. Like I would rather play than not. I'd rather not have to haggle to make something happen that deep down I know I want to have happen. I'm not going to turn away a gig out because of no money.
Yeah.
Because the money isn't right. If I really want to do it, I'm going to do it. And that being said, I think the people that are out there who are hosting music, the bars and restaurants and wineries that are dedicated to it feel the same way. Like they'd rather not haggle about it. They just want people to come and have a good time, have people look at each other and be together without being in fear. Still being safe, but out here and just being in the world, making our local economy strong.
Yeah.
So I've been sad not to play so many shows with the band, but I am getting to come and drink wine and play music with people and look at them and laugh with them. And
yeah, getting together with people, it's important, man. It's been such a cutoff thing lately. It's just that very act of just being with others is so healing, Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely.
How many people are on your album, Frankie? It's not just you, right? You've got your whole band, or is it just you mostly?
Well, it's mostly me and Brett Levick. You might know him around the valley from the band Left.
Yeah.
And he is, a lot of people don't know this, but he is a professional producer. He's, he moved here from Los Angeles like I did, but he was raised there. So he comes from a Hollywood family. Like his dad worked in the industry, NBC conductor, composer. He even wrote some episodes of NYPD Blue.
Nice.
And Brett went to his school in Los Angeles, New York, Paris. Like he was one of those super cool kids. and he's just such a great producer. We started working together in 2007 when he hired me as a singer for a project he was working on for EMI. There's a legendary, really famous songwriter named Hal David, and he's had hits from the 50s, 60s. I think his first major hit was "Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head."
Oh my God! I just found that because B.J. Thomas did a cover of that, and
oh no way!
And B.J. Thomas had a big hit with that, and that when I was a little kid, my mom would play that for me, and I just got that on 7-inch like 2 days ago.
Oh, that's crazy. So Hal David was a lyricist, and on his deathbed, I believe his grandkids took his last notebook full of lyrics. EMI had just a handful of producers produce some of the songs, and Brett, who was living in Grants Pass at the time, he just moved here from L.A. He got invited to produce a couple of those songs, and hired me to sing on one of them.
Wow!
And actually, one of the other producers really liked what I did, and they flew me down to Los Angeles, down to Total Access Studios in Redondo Beach, where Bradley Knoll recorded half of the famous album
Sublime.
Yes, sir.
Wow!
So I got to record in that studio with that engineer into the same mic. And I totally dorked out about it.
You know what? I would have too, bro. Totally.
Like the producer got a phone call and he said, "Okay, let's take a minute." And I touched the mic and I was just like, I don't know, I was just being such a goofball. Like I was just trying to imagine what would it be like to have Sublime, in this building, to be standing in the same spot as Bradley Knoll, singing in the same mic. And
what a fan!
And I hear this. I'm like, oh, sorry.
You're taking your Sublime. It's my Brad.
Yeah, he's like, you're a Sublime fan, right? And I'm like, yeah.
I'm taking my Bradley moment. Dude, I'm a big Sublime fan. I love those guys.
Oh, me too. We're just so part of what I'm raising money for isn't just for the album, because what I decided, like last year, I probably wrote 30 songs. Most of them were worship songs, some for the band. And so I just decided, you know what, I'm going to start putting out, like, this will probably be the last, like, complete album that I put out, and I think starting late summer, early fall, I'm just going to start putting out a song every couple of months, like, professionally produced, like, just going for it, just to keep active. Like, I really,
you should.
I've been loving the creative process of working with the producer, and, so there's Brett, Jeff Pivar plays on a track.
Wow.
And we've recorded together before, and he's our resident rock star. Like I always tell people, having Jeff Pivar in our music scene is about like having Michael Jordan available for a pickup game.
Very good analogy, bro. Good analogy. Yes, David Crosby's guy, and so much more.
Oh yeah, he's just. I mean, pretty much anyone connected to rock and roll history, Jeff is in the circle somewhere.
Yep. It's like, what is that 7 degrees thing,
Oh yeah, like he cut off about 5 degrees for me, just knowing him. I'm like, okay.
Yep. That's so cool. Yep, Jeff Pivar, he's a local. If you're listening to KSKQ Eartheart Radio Show. Derek Moody speaking with Frankie Hernandez, awesome local musician and nationwide musician who's been going down to LA and doing work and working here, and his new album's coming out. How many tracks are on the release, bro?
There's going to be 8.
Nice.
And so we just about cover every musical style. I mean, that's just how I go. Like I think that's probably been one of the things sort of works against me is I never know how to sell a record because like, well, what does it sound like? I'm like, everything.
Yeah.
I'm a Texan. You're never going to take the blues and country out of me.
Nope.
Raised in a Latino family. It will always sound a little bit Mexican. I love reggae and was raised on Motown. So it's just every record I have has some elements of all of those things.
Well, is the official release date available?
Yeah. So May 7th. May 7th, we're going to release the first single, As Bad As It Gets, and then the rest of the record will come out May 28th.
Nice. That's awesome. I'm excited. And how do folks find that when it does come out? If they want to find the new album by Frankie Hernandez, where would they go?
It will be everywhere. So I'm running some cross-platform ad campaigns, so it'll be on Spotify, iTunes, however you do your music, YouTube, it will be there. But mostly, if you just stay following me on Facebook and Instagram as either Frankie Hernandez Music or that guy at my church, like I will be blasting where you can find it, where you can listen, how you might be able to contribute to the record, which would be amazing. It's not a requirement, but I sure do love having the opportunity to talk about what's going on with me, because this is one of the most exciting times of my life, I think.
That's really cool, dude. You've been on the show 2 or 3 times over the years, playing by yourself and with others, and it's just exciting to watch you grow, man, and to hear your new music. I'm a fan, of course, and it's, I'm honored to have you on the show today, man.
Oh, it's my pleasure. You're another person that you've stuck it out. This for you. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. It's like the old the slow and easy wins the race. The turtle and the hare. The turtle had it figured out, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be interested. Like, how will we know when we actually won? What do we win?
Well, I think it's when we finally get to a place maybe where there's less bad intentions or things like that than there's ever been, and more just complete purity. I don't know, something like that.
Well, I certainly have been feeling like a winner these days. Just I'm amazed by the people in my circle. My family is solid and stable and happy. And what more could you ask for?
Well, you said the right word, circle. It's like life is a circle. Energy is like a boomerang, and when you put out all the good vibes that you're putting out, you're going to receive that, and that's exactly you're receiving your own experience that you're creating, and thanks to God and Jesus and all the great deities and Davis throughout the history of life itself. I give thanks.
Amen. Amen, brother.
Yeah, bro. And you did send me, by the way. You sent me 2 songs. You sent me As Bad As It Gets. And
I did?
You did.
Oh, cool. All right. There we go.
And you sent me Let It Break You Open. Is it okay if I play both of those?
Oh, yes, please. Those are both really special to me.
Okay.
Particularly Let It Break You Open. That was just one where, given the experiences of this past year, like, last year was hard. I mean, as a matter, most years are hard.
Yeah.
For everybody. Like, there's not a single person you encounter. Like, you have no idea the sort of battles that they're fighting internally.
Yeah. You're right about that.
You don't know what's happening in their families or their friends' circles or how they grew up or what sort of spiritual deconstruction or reconstruction they're under, or if they ate enough. I mean, just the worst part of people you experience comes from somewhere. And we all start off whole and unbroken, and the world breaks us.
Yeah, amen.
And we get sort of led to feel like we need to bandage hemorrhaging, and it's just not a thing. There's some parts of our healing that require more than a Band-Aid, more than a quick fix, and it's okay to be broken. It's okay to. Part of the brokenness is those are the places that we stay open to guidance. That's the place where God can come in and be a part of our healing and be a part of our life, and not just for the healing, not just to come and be a doctor or magic genie or a Santa Claus. Like every broken element is an opportunity to be in deep relationship with God.
Wow.
And so, Let It Break You Open speaks to that, and it's not always nice in there, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be pretty.
That's right, man. We have to get through the the pain to get to the purity. I was told that all pain is purification by a Hindu saint once, and I believe it for sure. Because every time I get in pain, and when I heal, I feel better, and I feel like I know more about that particular pain, and I have more compassion because of that. Particular.
That's the thing. Is it makes you compassionate to like I said, to all those invisible battles and other people that you don't see or you don't even think to look for, particularly when you're in pain.
Yeah, well said, brother. You're listening to Eartheart Radio Show at KSKQ. Frankie, thank you so much for joining me. I want to play some of your music, so I'm going to have to thank my sponsor, which is the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library, here in about 2 seconds, and I'm going to let you go. But I am going to play 2 in a row by Frankie Hernandez, starting with Let It Break You Open, and then we'll go into As Bad As It Gets. Frankie Hernandez, any final thoughts?
Just thank you so much. Just thank you for listening, everybody, and God bless you. Be blessed. Be happy, and feel free to reach out. And if you have any questions about what's happening with the record or with me, I manage all my social media. So Frankie Hernandez Music, that guy at my church, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Keep an ear out. There's so much going on, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for having me.
You bet. It's my pleasure, man. Blessings, and have a great day, bro. Take care.
You too. All right.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, you guys.
Take care. Good dude, man. Yeah, he's been on the show several times over the years, and I've seen Frankie perform dozens of times, and yeah, he's just a very talented songwriter, and it's cool to see that he's gone from devotion to more devotion. I love it. I want to give thanks to my very awesome sponsor. That's right, the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library. Support for KSKQ does come from our listeners and RVML and Media Exchange. Since 2002, the Rogue Valley Metaphysical Library's mission is to provide access to information that inspires, heals, and connects with books, audiobooks, and DVDs to borrow, purchase, or exchange. Open Tuesday through Saturday in Ashland from 10 to 6 at 1757 Ashland Street. More info and videos at rvml.org. Yeah. My friends, I do have Spotlight on Durga Ma, the goddess Durga from Hinduism. I've got some positive news. Brand new tune from Nobby Clark on the way. But right now, let's open up my phone and hope I don't screw this up. Gonna play a new song by Frankie Hernandez. I'm doing it all live, so let's see. Knock on wood. It's called Let It Break You Open. And let's see if it works. Hopefully it will. If not, I have to apologize to Frankie.
Temples used to be, and the light can be impossible to see. Through the mask we wear to make it through the day, through the sins we let seep in slowly, where repent is like a cuss word we say, not a call to stay holy. It's okay to have a heart hungry for God. It's okay to be broken. It's a blessing to heal. It's a blessing to feel. It takes courage to keep on hoping. There's a God-shaped hole in every single soul. And when the world does its best to break you down, let it break you open. Let it break you open. Never thought I'd have to fight for my soul, that the war would be the road to make me whole. It seems easier to smile and play the role of someone who pretends not to know. It's okay to have a heart hungry for God. It's okay to be broken. It's a blessing to heal. It's a blessing to feel. It takes courage to keep on hoping. There's a God-shaped hole in every single soul. And if the world does its best to break you down, Spirit come in the hour of our weakness. Help us pray the words that we forget to say. Search our hearts and call us to your purpose. Good is where our hearts are long to stay. Spirit come in the hour of our weakness. Help us pray the words that we forget to say. Search our hearts and call us to your purpose. Good is where our hearts are long to stay. Spirit come in the hour of our weakness. Help us pray the words that we forget to say. Search our hearts and call us to your purpose. Good is where our hearts are long to stay.
Thank you for tuning in to High Frequencies on the Eartheart Radio Show on KSKQ.
You are at the Eartheart Radio Show, and I want to say that was Frankie Hernandez with Let It Break You Open. Any views or opinions expressed are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily represent those of KSKQ. It's KSKQ's mission to produce community radio that empowers the residents of the Rogue Valley and builds sustainable and resilient communities through the exchange of ideas and the celebration of cultural diversities. That was a beautiful song, by the way, Frankie. If you're listening, wow, kudos, bro. I'm not just saying that. That's a good tune. Let's do another one from the great Frankie Hernandez, huh? He was our guest today with some words of wisdom, words of devotion. It's a new one from his new album. It's called As Bad As It Gets. It's Frankie Hernandez, Eartheart Radio Show and KSKQ.
Jesus. They kept me up all night. Fear that shook my knees. Fear that gave me trembling hands and inflamed anxiety. But the Lord, my strength, my happiness, soothed all of my regrets. Said this will be as bad as it gets. I gave my soul to Jesus. Saw the burdens I had laid. Turned to ash and into clay. Into the new me He has made. Well, I've been as close to Him as the good Lord could ever let. This will be as bad as it gets. Yeah, this will be as bad as it gets. I've had lies that had a hold on me. Lies that made me bold. Lies that kept me suffering. And I've lived with lies I've told. But I'm a child of the Father, with a Son who paid my debt. This will be as bad as it gets. I gave my soul to Jesus. Saw the burdens I had laid. Turned to ash and into clay. Into the new me He has made. Well, I've been as close to Him as the good Lord could ever let. This will be as bad as it gets. Yeah, this will be as bad as it gets. All my sins and all my wrongs He found a way to use for good. Found a way to make me strong. All my sins and all my wrongs He found a way to use for good. Found a way to make me strong. All my sins and all my wrongs He found a way to use for good. Found a way to make me strong. I gave my soul to Jesus. Saw the burdens I had laid. Turned to ash and into clay. Into the new me He has made. Well, I've been as close to Him as the good Lord would ever let. This will be as bad as it gets. Yeah, this will be as bad as it gets. Come on now, this will be as bad as it gets. Yes, because as bad as it gets, as bad as it gets, 2020 was a hard year, but it's a year about vision. It's a year we learn to see by obedience and not by sight. It cannot be as bad as it gets when the Lord is in your corner.
Thanks Thanks for listening to Eartheart Radio. Love everyone. Serve the people. Remember God. KSKQ.
You are at the Eartheart Radio Show in KSKQ. Frankie Hernandez right there with As Bad As It Gets. Gotta love that ending, man. That was super cool. Support for KSKQ comes from our listeners and from Biscuits and Vinyl. Biscuits and Vinyl provides a curated selection of new and used vinyl records, as well as turntables and vinyl accessories. Now reopened at 316 East Main Street in Talent. Shop hours are noon to 6, Wednesday through Saturday. Record collections are wanted. More information available at biscuitsandvinyl.com and on Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. There's not more than one, is there? I hope not. Sheesh. Again, they do have vinyl records, turntables, vinyl accessories, and I need to pop in there tomorrow. I do once a week, pretty much go to every single one of our underwriters as often as I can, and need to go up over at RVML as well. It's on my list for this week. Take care of us. We take care of you. Life is like a little boomerang. You know what I'm saying? I want to play some music for you guys. I want to talk about the goddess Durga. I'm going to play a new song by Nobby Clark, the ex-singer for the Bay City Rollers. That's got a request for Karen Lee, who's a really loyal listener and a good friend. And I've got Nobby on the way for you, Karen. Also just going to do some Leonard Cohen. We'll talk about Durga Ma. Got some positive news on the way and some other surprises. I want to say thank you to some of my listeners. Thank you to my lovey Tracy and Jet Dog listening here in Ashland. Thank you to Jake Hancock and Laura Corallo. Thank you to Maria in Kenosha. Hi, Maria. Hey, Chance in Florida. What's up, brother? Also, Brenda Rosh, very loyal listener in Ashland. Love you, my friend. Tony Tenaglia, if you're tuned in, I know you're listening, man. Again, hello to Karen Lee in Rhode Island. Hello to lovely Linda. Hello to Heidi Northover in Canada. Hello to my good brother Pat and Janine and Mia. If you guys are listening, which I'm pretty sure you are, lots of love over in Edinburgh, Scotland. Man, I can't wait to visit the United Kingdom. I did get my passport applied for. I went to get my real ID the other day, but I was short with one of my pieces of info, so I'll be going back in June to get the real ID, and then I'm free to make my plans to leave the USA to visit the UK for a little bit. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here's something I want to play for you before I get back to any more music, and it's important. A lot of people call me and say, what is karma? What is karma? I don't know. How do I explain everything? I'm not like the teacher. I'm just a student like we all are, man. A child on the path to waking up. But I found this short recording called The 4 Varieties of Karma by Thomas Ashley Farrand. Check it out. You're at KSKQ and the Eartheart Radio Show.
Any illness we have is because of karma. This entire body is composed of karma. We come to this planet because of karma. So in any discussion of disease, naturally we're going to touch upon karma at some point. And karma actually comes in 4 different varieties. First, they call Sanchita karma, which means all of our karma from all of our lifetimes. We cannot work out all of our karma in any one lifetime. So, in any one lifetime, another kind of karma is called prarabdha karma. Prarabdha, which means that for this particular embodiment, and includes as part of it the position of the planets at the time of our birth. So the whole science of astrology centers around that portion of prarabdha karma that relates to the planets. Kriyamana is the returning karma from another lifetime that we have chosen to deal with or work out in this life. And agami karma is our present actions which will produce a result sooner or later. Severe health conditions that we may encounter are a result of decisions that we made before coming into embodiment. Probably the most severe example of that is cancer, a very karmically based disease where we've chosen to work out a particularly large chunk of negative or unpleasant karma through one dramatic, painful event that we call cancer. But even this, we can do some things about, and we'll talk about that later. There are mantras for the sun. There are 12 gifts of the sun. I talk about those mantras and other mantras relating to prarabdha karma in much more detail in the program from Sounds True, Mantras, Sacred Words of Power. But for our purposes here, there are 2 sun mantras that particularly relate to healing.
And my friends, you are at the Eartheart Radio Show, and I've already pretty much touched upon what I wanted to make a point of, and that was to share some of the varieties of karma. Now, to those of you that don't subscribe to this particular way of thinking, that's totally respectable, and thank you for at least listening and maybe getting an education. And to those of you that do believe in these sorts of things, I hope that was of interest to you. I certainly am not into proselytizing or trying to present my point of view as the point of view. That's not me whatsoever. But I do love to share different wisdoms from different cultures, different spiritual ways of thinking, and different belief systems in order to maybe, sometimes people don't have a great knack of thinking outside the box and others do. So when I get on my think outside the box mode, it's like, let's share this and let's see who's into what. I'm never saying what I say is gospel. It's never the word, but it's word. There are truths and there are absolute truths, correct? I think so. There's something, like the sun is going to, it is shining right now. That's an absolute truth. And then there's truths, which are debatable. But anyway, my friends, I'm off my soapbox now. You are at the Eartheart Radio Show. I am Derek Moody, and thank you for tuning in to the show. I really appreciate it. Who is on next week's show, I wonder? Let me look. Do I have notes? Probably not. I'm not very good at notes anymore. I've been failing myself.
Saints, angels, avatars, sages, yogis, holy men, medicine men, helpers, elders, revolutionaries, and advocates of love. Today we honor and show love, respect, and gratitude.
Okay, I have found my calendar, and I will tell you who's on the show next week. Right now, by God. Next week, it's my good friend David Downey Jr. Oh, I can't wait. We are going to have a special next week called High Weirdness at Mount Shasta, which is one of the places in the America where there's the most extraterrestrial activity. All kinds of strange events have happened there for centuries. It's been documented in numerous books and videos, and David lived in Mount Shasta for, I believe, 7 years, something like that. And he has encountered some really bizarre stuff, and guess what? He's an honest guy. He's a very, very good guy, very high morals, high frequencies. He has a family, and he's the host of Backpack Boombox, Monday nights from 10 to midnight right here at KSKQ. He has a hip-hop and a rap show, and he's a great dude, man. He really is. So next Sunday, it's High Weirdness at Mount Shasta, Tales of the Unexplained, with David Downey Jr. next week on the Eartheart Radio Show. Tonight, we're going to talk about the goddess Durga, and right now, we will do that. Goddess Durga Ma is one of the principal Hindu deities, the goddess of war, strength, and protection. Her legend centers around combating evils and demonic forces that threaten peace, prosperity, and dharma. The power of good over evil. Durga is also a fierce form of the protective mother goddess who unleashes her divine wrath against the wicked for the liberation of the oppressed and entails destruction to empower creation. The earliest depiction of Durga is found in the Indus Valley civilization. There are hints to her in the early Vedic texts. Durga is seen as a motherly figure and often depicted as a beautiful woman riding a lion or a tiger with many arms, carrying a weapon, and often defeating demons. One of the earliest evidence of reverence for Devi, the feminine nature of God, appears in the Rig Veda, one of the scriptures of Hinduism. There is much to be learned and discovered about Goddess Durga online, of course, and in books, my friends, but I'd love to share this lovely hymn called Devi, the Devi Suktam hymn. And here it goes. I am the queen, the gatherer up of treasures, most thoughtful, first of those who merit worship. Thus gods have established me in many places, with many homes to enter and abide in. Through me alone all eat the food that feeds them. Each man who sees, breathes, hears the word outspoken. They know it not, yet I reside in the essence of the universe. Hear, one and all, the truth as I declare it. I verily myself announce and utter the word that gods and men alike shall welcome. I make the man I love exceedingly mighty, make him nourished, a sage, and who knows Brahman. I bend the bow for Shiva, that arrow may strike and slay their hater of devotion. I rouse and order battle for the people. I created earth and heaven and reside as their inner controller. On the world's summit I bring forth the Father. My home is in the waters, in the ocean, as mother. Thence I parade all existing creatures as their inner supreme self and manifest them with my body. I created all worlds with my will, without any higher being, and permeate and dwell within them. The eternal and infinite consciousness is I. It is my greatness dwelling in everything. You are at the Eartheart Radio Show, my friends. I had a request from Karen Lee, devoted listener from Rhode Island, and apparently it's time to play that request, and I just got a message right now, in real time, from Nobby Clark out of Scotland. He's in Edinburgh, and this is your new song, Nobby, requested by Karen Lee in Rhode Island, and I believe I'm going to play it now, my friends, the song. Let me find my notes. See, I told you I'm not very good at notes. It's called Run Like the Wind, and apparently Nobby's a lot better with notes because he got the song recorded. Here you go. You're at the Eartheart Radio Show on KSKQ.
To the devil.
yourself again. I watch you climb to the top of the tree, see as far as the eye can see, a sailing ship on the deep blue sea is calling, and we can run like the wind through the moonlight shadows on the silver sand. All I wanted was some time to spend together, and we can run like the wind to the downward mornings and her feathered friends. Run like the wind to the end.
Brand new from Nobby Clark. Run Like the Wind for Karen Lee in Rhode Island. You are at the Eartheart Radio Show. I am Derek Moody. Thank you for being here.
Established in August of 2019, you're listening to the Eartheart Radio Show with Derek Moody on KSKQ.
Support for KSKQ comes from our listeners and listeners like you, and from Dragon Crystal's Rock Shop. The newly reopened Dragon Crystal's Rock Shop offers a selection of crystals, mineral specimens, gemstones, metaphysical items, and more. Located at 107 West 1st Street in Phoenix, Dragon Crystal's Rock Shop is open 7 days a week from 11 to 6.
Please let go of your fear. Positive news is here. Things aren't as bad as it seems, no matter what they say. News with an agenda is meant to instill fear. True news can instill hope.
Yes, indeed, my friends. It is time for the positive news segment of the show, which many people say is their favorite segment of the show. So, without further ado, let's see what we've got on deck today for positive news. Let's see. Over 1 million people in 108 countries are joining forces to do good deeds on Good Deeds Today, which is today, right now, April the 11th. It's International Good Deeds Day, my friends. Launched 15 years ago in Israel as a small local event, the true spirit of dreaming big and getting things done has helped the project expand to include participants in 108 countries unifying for a day of good. This year's events will center around thousands of projects dedicated to bettering society, all under the 2021 theme of reconnecting. Founder Shari Arison is a 63-year-old American-born Israeli businesswoman and philanthropist, and Israel's wealthiest woman. She owns Arison Investments. She does head the Ted Arison Family Foundation as the daughter of the charity organization's namesake that also co-founded Norwegian Cruise Lines. Some of the organized activities include, in the USA, people in 50 states will participate, partnering with Habitat for Humanity and others. In Costa Rica, it's their 8th year taking part, and a whole month of good deeds are planned, from blood drives and concerts to donations. In Panama, 24 hours of good deeds are planned, including building community gardens and giving haircuts at homeless shelters. In the United Kingdom, hundreds are taking part in hands-on projects across London. Founder Shari Arison says, "I believe that if people will thank God and think of God, speak God and do good, the circles of goodness will grow in the world." Positive story number 2, my friends. Saudi Arabia plans to plant 50 billion trees and reduce carbon emissions by 60%. Saudi officials announced a massive initiative aimed at protecting the Middle East from climate change. Home to some of the world's largest, driest, and hottest shifting sand deserts, Saudi Arabia is uniquely placed to suffer from rising global temperatures, as are their Gulf neighbors. The Green Saudi and Green Middle East initiatives aim to take the crown of the world's largest tree planting efforts at home to more than double the size of the kingdom's protected areas and create an enormous drive for green energy that would reduce global carbon emissions by 8% and domestic emissions by 60%. The initiatives are seeking to create 50% green energy by the end of the decade. Quote, "We will work to lead the coming green era," said Saudi officials, speaking with Arab News. Saudi Arabia plans to help nations install more modern and efficient hydrocarbon technologies that will cut back on emissions. "This is just the beginning," the official added. "The kingdom, the region, and the world at large need to move forward at an accelerated pace in the fight against climate change." I got time for one more, and then another song, my friends. Lots of us, I should say, enjoy these delightful little treats known as Girl Scout cookies. Well, at age 8, Lily Bumpus is already a worrier. As an infant, she took on rare Ewing's sarcoma disease and won. The experience left her determined to take up the battle for other children fighting cancer. Her dream? To show them they can be strong. This year, 8-year-old Lily took a huge step forward in making their dreams come true by breaking the record for selling the most boxes of Girl Scout cookies in a single season. She sold 32,484 boxes, to be exact. That is a lot of dough. Bad joke. A huge chunk of the proceeds will be used to fund childhood cancer research to an organization that does feed the homeless. Whether it's a business owner or an 8-year-old girl slinging Girl Scout cookies, Lily has encouraged people to support a dream and a mission, not just a product. Lily is on the social media fast track, becoming something of an online brand ambassador. It's been a piece of cake for her, or cookie, haha. She answered folks' questions on Facebook recently. She did set up a curbside booth outside of her house where she spent 2 months worth of afternoons working her booth. One day, she worked her booth for 11 hours solid, selling 500 boxes of cookies. Wow. In addition to selling cookies in all 50 American states, Lily also has customers in Canada, England, Spain, Paris, Rome, and Egypt. Quote, "Nothing is impossible when you make it possible," she posted on social media. Check it out. The other girls in Lily's San Bernardino, California Girl Scout troop share one thing in common, my friends: cancer. Yep, whether they're surviving it, like Lily, whether they're fighting it currently, or if they've lost a family member to it, they've all got that one special bond. You are listening to the Eartheart Radio Show, and thank you so much for tuning in each and every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time. Here's Leonard Cohen. Hallelujah! And why did it go back to the beginning? KSKQ.
Now I've heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. broke your throat and she cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. You say I took the name in vain. I don't even know the name. But if I did, well really, what's it to you? There's a blaze of light in every word. It doesn't matter which you heard, the holy or the broken. Hallelujah. I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even though it all went wrong, I'll stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah.
You are listening to KSKQ 89.5 FM Ashland, Oregon, and 94.1 FM Medford, Oregon.
You've been listening to Eartheart Radio with your host, Derek Moody. Eartheart Radio is produced by Derek Moody in association with Sister Tracy and Krishna Consciousness. Please tune in every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific Time for more Eartheart Radio.